What's up everybody? Today is the second day of my 2-day trip to Busan, and we will be venturing all over, hitting up some of the most popular tourist destinations and trying delicious and unique seafood, which Busan is well known for. Not only will we get to feast our eyes on breathtaking locations like the Kumchan Cultural Village and Oryukdo Skywalk, which stretches over the scenic coast of Busan, but we will also get to learn about Busan's humble beginnings with a tour of the Provisional Capital Memorial Hall, once the temporary housing for the President of Korea during the Korean War. We also got to witness Korea's appreciation for all the veterans of the United Nations member nations at the UN Memorial Cemetery, which was an emotional moment for many of the delegates from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that we traveled with. Whatever the case, we got a lot of ground to cover in this video, so stick around and let's live travel Asia. Alright guys, here we are at Oryukdo Skywalk. It means 5-6 islands. You see it behind us, super scenic. It's also a free attraction. Lots of free attractions here in Busan actually.
What are you doing?
Oh, here's Agatha.
I'm trying to get some pictures then.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yes. I'm getting in their way. Beware of selfiers. Something else to note is that there's a Haeparankil here. It's a famous trail that you could do around the coast of Busan. And this is a very scenic location. Would really like to live in those apartments right there with that view. Alright. I know Latinas like the carne.
Yes, I love
the carne. Oh.
I'm just like laughing because you guys are
So Valeria looks like she is really tired, and I was out until 4 a.m. So it means that she was doing something even more amazing. Spill the beans, Valeria. What were you doing? Do not lie in front of the meat. That's disrespecting the meat. Alright guys, check this out. Look how much seaweed soup they give each of us. That's very unique. I thought this was just like a meat joint. To Valeria it is. She doesn't care about the... But wow. Their main dish is actually the seaweed soup, and they're giving us so much. Look at this guys. I haven't even started eating the myeokguk, and I can already tell this is gonna be the best myeokguk I've ever had in my life. Because, wow, look at how much meat is here as well. Wow, the service is really good here. Oh, she understands service is very good. I wonder if she understands. Service so muy bien. Muy que rico. Does Valeria approve of my Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so nice. She's such a liar. Oh, Valeria, what do you think of Kumchan Cultural Village?
Well, it's my first time here.
What,
so...
you've been here 1 year?
Yes.
Alright guys, I'm here at Kumchan Cultural Village here in Busan. Super scenic, excited. Let's see what the guy tells us about this place.
그때만 하더라도 1950년 12월 3일 김한근 그 근대 연구소장께서 조작해가 저희들한테 기부를 했습니다.
Agatha is freaking... You're escaping the tour! Alright guys, just had a chance and opportunity to look around this village. It's super scenic. It may just be the Korean version of that Greek location. What is it? Santorini? With all these beautiful, colorful buildings, but definitely with its own unique flavor and the Korean 80s, 90s vibes going on. The guy was explaining to us how this particular village, they really made an effort to preserve the old aesthetics of it. Instead of just clearing everything out and starting brand new, they just renovated the insides. And I think this is definitely a model that other villages in Korea should follow. It's much more cost effective. And there's been a ton of awards that they've won internationally. And other cities who want to redevelop their villages into cultural centers around the world use Kumchan as a model. Oh, this is a very iconic location here. That is the Little Prince. I believe that's actually a Western folktale, but this book is really popular in Korea. So there is an entrance to this location. It is about 2001, but it is also definitely worth it. It's practically free. It's an amount I will happily donate because all of it literally goes into redeveloping this area and making it even more scenic. Like these lanterns that you see up on here. One of the influencers was telling me this wasn't here at all last year. So they're constantly doing things to make this place a cultural center with the little bit of funding that they do get. I'm just really breathtaking. Every corner of this village is so breathtaking. And this is hard to believe that it was once a shanty town that just developed out of middle of nowhere in the 50s after the Korean War. And God, I wish I can just like live here. And there's actually a couple different ones of these types of villages. There's another one in Namhae called Tarengi village, which up to this point, it was one of my favorite villages. But this one here in Busan, just based on the scale and how much they developed it, I would put this in my favorite Korean village. A must visit if you come to Busan. And I don't know Busan that well, but this would be my top attraction to come to based on my limited experiences here so far. And although I'm gonna wrap it up here, if I had more time, you could literally spend the whole day. I see that there's even more hiking trails up there. I just like basically did the main circle, so that's all there is for that. But every little corner there's something happening. Hello. Nothing goes better with hanbok than Squid Games. Alright guys, so we're here at the UN Peacekeeping Memorial Park. It's somewhat of a solemn reminder of how this country was forged. And you see here at the forefront, Australia, Canada, America, England, and France, some of the countries that sent the most amount of their troops. And I even see Thailand right there behind America, as well as somebody also mentioned the Philippines is here. Seeing all the ambassadors that we're with, watching that video, being moved and showing their appreciation for all these soldiers that sacrificed their lives for the creation of literally this country brings new meaning to Korea and helps me understand why Korea has such an appreciation for all the veterans that served out here. So Liz right here, she's from Canada, and she was giving me really interesting insights to the Canadian memorial here.
The national languages of Canada are English and French. So the English inscription is in the front, the French is in the back, and then it's also here in Korean. So this is the coat of arms for the Royal Canadian Air Force.
Oh.
I believe that is the coat of arms for the government. And then I think this is for the military and the Navy.
Here is good old America. honor, freedom, peace. Interesting fact is that there's only 40 American soldiers that are buried here, and all of them were buried here after they passed away from natural causes. And as most of you know, America, they had the largest participation and the largest deaths, but they only have 40 soldiers because we're all about bringing our soldiers back home. So the 40 soldiers here are soldiers who requested to be buried here because they have an affinity for Korea and they wanted their remains to be buried here, which was honored. However, the Commonwealth, like Britain, Canada, they have a tradition of burying their soldiers where they pass. So they actually have a larger cemetery area dedicated to them. But even if your remains aren't buried here, all the 40,000+ soldiers who sacrificed their lives in the Korean War, their names are inscribed in this memorial to honor them. Being a military guy myself, this is really something that I recommend that every veteran comes out here and checks out. It definitely gives a new meaning to being here in Korea and understanding the appreciation that the Korean people have for their veterans. Freedom isn't free, guys. Alright, so for the last stop of the day, we're here at the temporary presidential suites of Korea. Because if you are aware, during the Korean War, we got pushed all the way down to Busan here. So because Seoul was no longer the capital, they had to create a temporary residence for the president and the government in Busan. So this was actually a colonial building by the Japanese, which was about 100 years old. It's created in the Nordic style with Japanese interior elements. So it's very unique, and they use this as the president's residence. But you can just completely see the humble beginnings of Korea, that the presidential residence was so shanty. I feel like I should do judo in this room. Any interesting facts? Our North Korean studies PhD.
Interesting facts about this building? No,
Yes.
I don't know much about this building.
Look at this here. They got English for ignorant people like me.
Seoul collapsed after only 3 days. The defense line crumbled uncontrollably. It was a cruel reality forcing them to struggle to survive.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like the most interesting attraction, but it definitely has Korea's best English voice acting narration. Alright guys, so that's gonna wrap up our tour of Busan. This has been fantastic. I'm so privileged to have been able to come with Alimi Unboxing Korea and be able to experience Busan. But just to let you know, like all the attractions we went to, it's all free. I mean, it's so fantastic what they do out here in Busan. You guys definitely need to come out. They want you to come out, enjoy everything. The city makes everything free for you, and all you need to do is just support the people by buying delicious food and staying in nice amenities. And that's it. Literally the only exception was that village, and I was happy to give them less than $2 to support their continued development of the shanty village into what is now a cultural village. If you like my video and you're more interested in Busan, definitely let me know in the comments what else you want to see. And I'll see you guys again next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia.